Good afternoon and welcome back to another ironic introduction to another video. Today I have Alliance War number 5, season 25. This is by far my worst ever war performance. Just all around a bad time, but we still won the war, which I will take. But yeah, if you like to see me play poorly, then this is the war you're looking for. So first up I have Blade here, Path 7. It is the first fight. I'm just popping some boosts. It is kinetic transference. There's nothing crazy. I'm going to knock him out super quick. Ghost works really well, essentially, since there's no stubborn threat here. Blade's just an easy ghost fight. Actually, a lot of times I see people not even placing Blade here anymore, even though he's really good for this node in the combination because of, you know, the reduced stun duration he has when he has power, and then kinetic transference, and then like the threat of him potentially going into an L2 endless cycle into an SP3. It just doesn't matter. I do accidentally get parried here, which is just a bad time. A slow punishment on the SP1 by me. Not that big of a deal, not a threat but from play, but it is just like the precursor to what is just an outright just bad war performance. And part of that is planning, part of that is skill. You can see here that I go for a parry and I actually end up giving him an SP2. I'm going to dex the last bit here, but I'm just trying to catch up on the fight. He is down. Now in my head, this was the only fight I needed to use Ghost for, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But then I have this thing on Powerful from Afar and Spite. Now I've never actually really seen Thing here, I think, except for an off-season. In an off-season, I think I used Ghost and it was like a terrible time. I think I got stuck. So I brought in Red Guardian. Now Red Guardian would work really well for Spite. So I don't have to worry about that node. He has the slow, so I don't have to worry about Thing's mechanics. The biggest thing here is damage potential. This person is running a high sig 6-star rank 3 Thing with willpower. So you can see here that even with 2 debuffs and then the instant slow and the trauma, he is out healing my damage with Red Guardian. Like even the red direct damage, he's just out healing me. And it's just such a bad time. I've already taken so much damage just from my masteries, which isn't that big of a deal, in the recoil, but I'm looking at this fight and I'm like, I've only done 2% damage after launching an L1 and hitting him with like 2 or 3 heavies, and every time I trigger protect, he just starts healing like crazy. Now you're gonna see it's a bad time. I start to lose control of the fight. I'm not really sure how to handle it. I'm punishing his SP2 with my heavy. I'm just trying to keep that slow on. I'm getting a little bit of chip damage over time, but I've lost 20% of the time, and I haven't even gotten past 10% of the damage on Thing, so I don't really know where to take it from here. Essentially, I'm going to ramp up to an SP3. I've got both of my major debuffs on him, so I'm just trying to go for the parry heavies, and then finishing off from there. I misjudged the spacing on the SP1, so I do take a little bit of chip damage. You know, to an extent, I just got to play the fight the best I can. He's going to go relatively passive here, back off. I'm just trying to bait out an SP2. He does finally throw it, but I lose all of my debuffs, unfortunately. So I'm going to drop my L3, and I do get, I think, a decent chunk of damage from the L3. But the lesson here is that if the player is running willpower, which they probably are if they have a thing on defense, then Red Guardian is not the answer. In the future, I'll use Void, probably, which was one of the runs that was recommended to me. It's just that I'm way more comfortable with Red Guardian's playstyle than I am with Void's playstyle, just because I've played so many more fights with Red Guardian that just unfortunately came back to bite me. You can see here, you know, 2 minutes into the fight, not even 10%. So at worst, I'm gonna, or at best, I'm gonna time out on this fight. But pretty soon here, I'm just gonna make a fatal mistake, end up getting just completely wrecked. I'm not even gonna get more than this, unfortunately. As the fight just completely goes out of my hands. I get hit by something somewhere here. He goes SP1 into a heavy after I fail to hit him with my heavy. So I'm already down to sub 30. It's just not a good time. And then I believe I come out of this special. I think I like dash in and get parried or something, but pretty soon about to end out. Now in a lower tier war, maybe could have finished. I went for the heavy on the long stun from the SP3, and it just didn't work out well. So I took a moment, I breathed up, I said, okay, I know Red Guardian's not gonna work, so I gotta bring someone else in this fight. So like I said, in off season, I did have a Thing fight and I used Ghost. So I'm like, okay, I'll just heal up Ghost. My booster's still active. So if I can get to some good SP3 rotations, make sure I bait those specials out early, I'll be okay. So I'm going to go ahead and boost up and then jump into the fight. So I have Rainbow Boosts active at this point. I'm mostly healed up. The biggest threat is the SP3, but if he SP3s, I'm pretty much dead anyways. So we're going to just do what I can and hopefully push through with Ghost. The only saving grace I have here at this moment is that my alliance has like a 12 kill lead or something crazy. So the fact that I botched this isn't the end of the world. It's just like a poor performance on my part, you know, which dying in war doesn't feel good. So you can see here, he's gaining power like crazy, and he launches the SP3. This is like the issue with Thing on this node, especially when you're running Ghost, is you trigger the cruelty, you get the spite. Thankfully, I am topped off, so I am able to tank this SP3, but it just doesn't make for a good time. Maybe I should have popped an SP3 boost or something. He's going to go into a heavy, which I was expecting like a double medium, so I'm just getting pummeled in the wall here. He pushes me to an SP3, and I just need him to throw his SP2 so I can launch mine. Thankfully, up along the wall, he finally does. I'm going to drop my 4-hit, push him up to 14, and launch my SP3. I'm going to get a really good amount of healing here from the 6-star adrenaline, and as well as some really good damage. And actually from here, I'm able to take control of the fight again, because he does have that super aggressive AI special launch after you drop your special 3, and from here, thankfully, he's actually launching a special, so it's just a matter of me trying to bait those specials super early, get some good intercepts when I can, and just really bait these specials, because I know that I'm pretty much SOL if he doesn't. So I keep triggering the spite by dexing. It's not intentional. There's no really great opening for me to go in. And I'm low enough that I'm not trying to take more parry damage if I don't have to, but I'm able to properly finish him off. Rough. That is a death thing, but a pretty good recovery, thankfully for a Rainbow Boosted Ghost being able to tank an SP3 and a bunch of punishment on the wall. And then I'm going to jump into this Domino. Now, I should have popped like a tech boost or something. Again, like I said, we had a huge lead on this war, and I was pretty sure I could handle this fight with Warlock even without like the tech boost. Normally I would pop a tech boost or an 8 advanced power boost or something to like really give him the advantage, but I'm like, hey, I'm Rainbow boosted, it's a Domino, we've got a big lead, let me just jump in and take her out. But you can see here that I'm not hitting my parries super often. I get a couple here, but she triggers Lucky both on the SP1 and on the SP2. It's a bad time. So she launches that SP2, which is nice for me, but she's getting so much distance because she keeps triggering Lucky. I'm not able to push her back along her wall. And you can see here she's just building up power. So I'm at least dexing a little bit where I can, but you can see here again, not getting my parry stuns when I need them. And the Lucky means that I can't even hit into her block to push her back to her wall. I'm up on my wall. I'm going to block this SP2. I did not realize how hard that hits. And at this point, I'm realizing that I don't have a good leg up on this fight. I'm on my wall, taking chip damage and dying to chip damage. So I'm actually going to try to dex this SP2, and it's even worse. Not a good time. At least I can dex the heavy on the wall. My goal here is to try to get her to 2 infections so I can launch my L3, get a little bit of healing, but it's just so much chip damage as Domino is eating away at me. In the future, I will not make this mistake. I will know that you have to tech boost or you have to advance power boost. You have to do something to put Warlock on the front foot. Otherwise, it's just so much damage. It's insane. Or maybe I need to do better, but just you can see here, she triggered Lucky again. Like, I don't think there was a single time she gained a bar of power and she didn't trigger Lucky. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, well, I'm just going to go in with Ghost. She's pretty much dead. Ghost is at half, 71%. Like, I'm pretty good. So I'm going to phase a bunch of hits, try to find a parry opening here to start. Just do a couple hits. See here, I'm getting super unlucky. Like, I just don't know what is about the RNG on this Domino, but it was not on my side. Thankfully, I'm close to her, so I'm able to punish her SP1. Have to go for another parry opening. The only thing with Ghost on Domino and War is I go for a lot of parry openings because it's safe. Here, what I'm trying to do is just get up to my SP2, beta heavy, and launch the SP2, and she's down. So 2 deaths this war, 2 deaths. We still won. we already knew we were gonna win. Like, I would have had to die 6 times to really botch it, and even then we still had like 4 more deaths to give before we would have lost. But not a great performance. But hey, hopefully you enjoyed my suffering. As always, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you all later. Peace.